Hey guys, today I am going to redo a video tutorial that I uploaded on yesterday to show you the method for Cricut Draw and how to determine what images work best with Cricut Draw, because not all images work well with Cricut Draw. So I'm going to walk through the process with you today and show you the output, okay? So the first thing is Cricut Draw can be done by any of the Cricut cutting machines. So you can do it with the Joy, the Explore Airs, and also the Cricut Maker. Okay, so this is a project that you can do with all three types of Cricut cutting machines. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to upload your image. Now, I'm going to show you a colorful image here and why it does not work well with Cricut Draw. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this image here, and I'm going to insert that image. Now, when I bring this image in, and right now it is a cut project, okay? If I wanted to change this to a draw project, and I'm going to duplicate it so you can see the difference here. So this is your cut project on the right. If I change the line type here from cut to draw, that's what you're going to get. Okay, so Cricut would actually draw this outline of the Katie image. Okay, so that is why I tell people Cricut Draw doesn't work well with colorful images, because you have to go in and do a lot of removing of these colors to get the small details like her face and hair and all that good stuff. And with color, it's going to be really, really impossible. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to delete it. So when you're working with Cricut Draw works best with silhouettes. Silhouettes is like a black and white image, okay? So I'm going to upload here, and I'm going to go to Upload, Browse, and I'm just going to work with one of my drawing images that I've actually used for this type of project. So I'm going to bring in this African print here. And when I bring that African print in, it has a background. So if I don't do anything with this background and I go ahead and select Complex, Complete, and I don't do anything, I just go ahead and hit Continue. On the left-hand side, this is what you will get if you use this as a print and cut project. On the right-hand side, it is showing you what it's going to look like if you use it as a draw project. Okay, so if I were to click print and cut, because of course no one's going to select this, because what is this? It's just going to be a rectangle, and that's it. But if I say I'm going to select this print then cut and go ahead and save that and bring it into Cricut Design Space. Once I insert that image, what you're going to get when I change that line type from cut to draw, this is what you're going to get. It's just going to give you a rectangle drawn on a piece of paper. Okay. However, if I go back to upload and upload image, browse, bring that image in again, this time I'm going to remove the background only. And to remove the background, you have these little crosshairs. It looks like a little plus sign on my screen. I'm just going to click one time to remove some of the background, and I'm going to leave everything else. When I click on continue, this is a print then cut, this is a draw. This is what it's going to draw. It's going to give you just the outline. And if you're unsure, if you click on the print then cut and go ahead and save that into Cricut Design Space and bring it up to your canvas. When I go here and I change that line type to draw, there's your outline. It's pretty much giving you the same thing you would get with a colorful image. It's just giving you the outline around here, okay? Now, if I go back and I upload that image again, browse, and this time when I bring the image in, I'm going to select complex again and continue. I'm going to remove a lot of this white space. Now, I'm not going to get it perfect because I just want you to see the difference. And that's all I'm focusing on here is how Cricut Draw works. So if there's ever a time when something is like super, super small, then you do have the option on the right-hand side, the top right, to maximize. So you have a minimize, a zoom in and zoom out here. And if I zoom in by clicking on the plus, it's going to blow my image up for me so I can get into these little smaller areas where the white is. Now, if you mess up for whatever reasons, let's say you clicked on a part of the black and you did not mean to. So let's say I just clicked her face by accident. You do have this undo and you just click it and it'll put it back. Okay, so I'm just going to take out a little bit more white space. Again, I'm not going to be perfect with this because I just want you to be able to see the difference. So I get a lot of people say, well, why doesn't it look the same as in the image before you clicked on Cricut Draw? That is a Cricut Draw functionality. That is how Draw works. It is not going to draw it exactly as you see it here. I guess Cricut says if you wanted that drawn like that, then you should use print instead. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's, I guess, what was Cricut's intention. All right, so I'm still removing white space here. Now, just to tell you a little something while I'm doing this, I did a set of 3 images that are similar in like an African print, and I placed them inside of a, I think it was a 17 by 24 frame. Each one inside of its own frame, and they are absolutely beautiful. So I would very easily gift this to someone, and I'm sure they would be in love because they would never think that it was something as simple as just going in and removing white space from this image. Okay. So I think I'm going to take out, that's about as much as I'm going to do. If I was trying to get this perfect, I would blow this up even a little bit more, and I would take out these little areas here as well. But I'm just going to do a couple of them. I'm one of those people that get stuck on details and having it the way I want it, but it's not really that important to me because I'm not really going to use this image. So I'm just clicking inside the white space. You see, I just clicked inside the black space by accident. All I have to do is go up and hit undo, and it will bring it back. So it's not going to be a deal breaker if you click the black by accident. Okay. So I think that's about all I'm going to do. And I probably didn't get as much as I wanted out of here or would have if I was going to really use this, but it's okay. All right, so there we have it. So now if I go and I select, now if I go in and I bring this into my canvas, I'm going to show you the difference. And you can always preview this, guys, to see, because this is showing you exactly what your Cricut Draw is going to look like. Okay, it is showing you exactly what the Cricut Draw is going to look like. And there is a little black line up here. And normally what I do in that case is I'll click on this eraser, and then I'll bring this little dial down, and I will just click until I can remove that black line. And you can see it's gone now. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And even if I mistakenly don't hit, because normally you would select the image on the right, but even if I don't, and I select the one on the left by accident, and go ahead and bring that into Cricut Design Space. It looked like it still picked up a little bit of that black line. It's a little bit there, but you guys can't see it as much. Okay, so now if I take this and I change that line type from cut to draw, there is my Cricut Draw image. Okay, now I don't like this black line on here, and I thought I got rid of it. It's not a matter of just going back, removing the black lines, guys. Once you get this point to this point, you have to start over. So I'm just going to bring in a shape, and then I'm going to slice it. And that way I can get rid of that black line that I do not want in it. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. Just bring in a shape. And then I'm going to bring the shape down to where just the line is inside the square. And I'm going to highlight them both and slice. So again, if you get to this point, and let's say, for example, like this line is still in your picture, you can either slice or you're going to have to start over with removing all your white space. Okay. So these are the different things or the different ways that Cricut Draw is going to draw. This is a color image, a completely colored image. This is, excuse me, this is a colored image that had a background, okay, or a silhouette image that had a background. It's only going to just draw the background. And then this is using a silhouette where you just removed only the background. You didn't remove anything on the inside, any white space on the inside. You just removed the background only. So it's just going to give you a silhouette of the image. And then this is where you go in and you remove the background and you remove the white space inside the image as well. Then that's where it's going to pick up your details. Okay. And so what I will do is I'm going to bring this up so you can see my face, my smiling face, and then we're going to draw these. Okay. So at this point, I would just click on Make It. And you see all the different sizes here and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and end my recording screen, and then I'll bring up my camera. 1 second. All right, guys. So all I'm going to do is I have taken a white piece of paper, just a plain white sheet of paper, and I'm going to place my one of my Cricut pens inside of clamp A. I'm going to use the blue, I think this is. And anytime you're doing Cricut Draw, just so you guys can see here, you're going to place your pen, your Cricut pen, inside of clamp A. Push it down gently. You don't want to push down too far on your Cricut Draw pens, because if you do, it's going to be touching the mat, and as it moves around, it's going to be making marks. So you want to make sure that you don't push it down too far. All right, so got that set up. I'm going to go ahead. You don't have to mirror or anything like that. I'm just going to click on Continue in Cricut Design Space, and I'm just going to say that I'm just using medium cardstock. No big deal. And then it's going to tell you to make sure that you have your black marker. Now it's saying black marker because I had all my images in black, but I just want to show you what it's going to look like here using Cricut Draw. So you kind of move so you can see here. But it's going to start drawing all 4 of those images from Cricut Design Space. Now it's going to take a minute when it gets to the one that has the lines on the inside of the image, because that's more drawing. It's going to require more drawing. But while that's doing that, I'm going to show you guys. This is a project that I did with Cricut Draw, and I used my 12 by 24 mat along with the 12 by 24 cardstock and had it to do this image. And again, this was an image that I found on Google. The background was already removed, so Cricut went in and did all the drawing for me. And for this image, not sure if you can tell, but it's a guy here. They're in a canoe, like here's a lady with a hat on. But it took about maybe 20 minutes for Cricut to print, or excuse me, not print, but to draw this out for me. So I'm going to be framing this and placing it in my living room. But this is another project that you can do with Cricut Draw. And of course, I just used a regular black pen. Another thing I want to tell you, anytime you're doing Cricut Draw, guys, if you're going to be putting it onto a canvas, you want to make sure you're using a permanent pen. Because if you're not, as soon as you put that wet paint on top of that non-permanent ink, your ink is going to smear, okay? So you want to make sure that you know when to use permanent ink. Like I'm not going to be painting this, so it's not going to make a difference for me. But if I was going to paint this, then I would have wanted to make sure I'm using a permanent pen, permanent ink. All right, we're at 60% here. And then I'll show you the finished result. So this is a project that I did using Cricut Draw. Another project, let's throw it up there. You can see on my wall. This middle one of the lady with the little short afro, little shortcut, was also done with Cricut Draw. That was another one that I did with Cricut Draw. So hopefully this will answer your questions, guys, when it comes to the double line thing. There is no other way that I know of to make Cricut Draw do anything differently than what I'm showing you here today. And I wanted to show you all of the different, image types so that you will understand when I'm saying, it works best with a silhouette type image, why I say that, okay? We're almost done here. Now it's doing the outline of just the image only. And as soon as you finish working with your pen, guys, go ahead and take it out and put the top back on. And that's because these things dry out really fast. So if you don't put that top back on, you're going to be wasting money. And you can see here that I have a lot of Cricut pens, and I've had them all for, a couple of years, but I've had them so long because I always put the top back on. When I get ready to put it, just to give you a little tip here, when I get ready to put it into clamp A, I always take the top off and put it on top of my pen. That way, when I'm done, I don't have to look around and say, where I put my top at? It's on top of your pen. And then once you're done, immediately take this off first. Instead of this, take this off first, because once you take this off and start doing whatever, you're going to forget about this. And when you realize it, it's going to be dried out. Okay, so always put the top on the top until after you use it, and then put it back. All right, so here is the outcome. So this is an image that had color inside of it. So this was the Katy Perry image, and you can see what you get, just the outline, okay? Which is the same thing if you used a silhouette that didn't have a background and you didn't remove any of the insides, then you're just gonna get the outside of the image. This is a silhouette image that had a background, and I didn't remove anything. I left the background. If you don't remove that background, that's all you're going to get is the shape of whatever that the outline of that image was. And then this is what you get, which is my ultimate goal. When I use Cricut Draw, this is what you're going to get when you remove the background and you remove as much white space inside the image. So the double lines, what you're seeing is where there was a separation between the black and the white. That's why you see double lines on the inside. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. I don't know any other way to make Cricut Draw do anything than what I've shown you here today. So that's just a close-up of all 4 different types. So you be the judge on what works for you and how you want to use the Cricut Draw. It doesn't matter what color pen Cricut tells you to put into your machine. It only matters what color pen you put in there. So even though that said black, I could have put this pink pen in and it would have drawn it in pink. So you don't have to really focus on the color. If you say, oh, I forgot to tell it that I'm using a red pen, it doesn't matter. Just put the red pen in and it's going to draw in red, because Cricut is not going to determine the outcome of the drawing as far as the color. You determine that by what color pen you put in your cutting machine. Okay. So hopefully, guys, this will explain it better for you all so that you can truly understand what I mean by when I say Cricut Draw works best with a silhouette image that has black and white, and enough black and white to where it's easy for you to remove the white space. Because if you get one where the white space is really close to the black space and it's like all over the place, I would not touch that image if I were you, because you're going to be clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking to get those fine details. Okay. Kind of like I did when I did this image up here with the afro. I had to do a lot of clicking around to get the little curl look in her hair. So again, guys, hopefully that answers your questions. Let me know if any part of that wasn't clear. I do apologize for the tutorial on yesterday. I don't know what's going on with my Microsoft PowerPoint when I'm doing screen captures or screen recordings. It's blacking out a part of my screen, and I tried to research it yesterday and wasn't lucky to find anything, so I just moved it over to my monitor, and it seems to be working fine, but it won't work right on my laptop for some kind of reason. Laptop is acting crazy. Okay. All right, guys, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you're currently in my Facebook group, Ken Dorsey's Cricut and Creative Crafters, thank you guys so much for being a part of my group. If you would like to become a member in my group, then send me a Facebook group request to Ken Dorsey's Cricut and Creative Crafters, not my Facebook page, but my Facebook group, Ken Dorsey's Cricut and Creative Crafters. And if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, then thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you're seeing my tutorials for the first time and you like my method of teaching, then please like, share, and subscribe, and tell others about my YouTube channel. Also, click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner, and that way you'll be made aware anytime I upload tutorials to YouTube, which I do often. Okay? All right, guys, my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one, and you guys enjoy your day and